What is up, YouTube? Welcome to a brand new review, not a movie. We're talking Stranger Things Season 2, and man, am I so excited to talk about this, because let me give you some perspective. Stranger Things Season 1 comes out in the last year, and when I finally just checked it out, because I checked it out like the first day it came out, because I saw it went on Netflix, I was like, this looks cool, and within the first 8 minutes, I was so hooked on that series. And this continues, because the first season was so great with only a couple cons for me, and Season 2 comes out, and I knew it was going to be good, but I was hoping it would be amazing. And let me tell you, Stranger Things Season 2 is amazing, and it's just as good as the first season, if not better, in my opinion. But here's the thing, I'm not going to talk about any spoilers. I want this to be non-spoilers, so I want to give you guys my thoughts without any spoilers. I'm not going to get into anything really deep. And if you guys do decide that you guys want more spoilers, then tell me down below and I will do a spoiler video. But with all that said, let's get into my review. It's been a whole year since the last events happened in Stranger Things. Will's kind of still acting weird, some stuff still screwing around with him. Everyone still kind of has PTSD from this whole thing that they went through in the first one. And with that said, a lot of subplots keep coming up and a lot of plots start happening. And within a TV show where we're now up to not having 8 episodes, but now we have 9, it totally worked out, and none of those episodes ever felt like a filler episode or a teaser for the next. It all perfectly worked, and every single minute of every episode was pretty much amazing. Now, I want to get into my cons first before I really get into anything like negative. And a couple cons I have is that it feels like some of the subplots in here are mostly for fans, like fan service there. And they never felt like they were streamlined into the story, because most of the plot is really streamlined where it's like perfect from the first one, and it totally feels like the showrunners, the Duffer Brothers, totally mapped out what they were going to do from Season 1, Season 2, and however many seasons they go on. Now, the fan service in here, one of the main things in there is Barb. Justice for Barb. A lot of people wanted justice, which was one of my problems with the first season, was no one really talked about Barb. The way they handled it in the season wasn't bad per se, it just felt out of place at times, and maybe that's just how I felt about it. Maybe you guys felt different, but that's just how I felt about it. And then there's some other fan service in here that was the same way, like it kind of felt out of place for me. And I don't have a problem with fan service at all, but sometimes I felt like this show did a little bit too much. But the thing I really do appreciate about this season is it went darker. It went darker than the first season, and surprisingly had some more humor in there as well. But with that darker aspect brings a darker tone. And with this season kind of shaping different genre, because where the first one was more of a mystery sci-fi, this one's more of a thriller sci-fi type of show. And I like that, because there is still that mystery element left in there, but it's not the mystery of where'd Will go, where is he coming back. It's more of we already know what the upside down is. We're trying to figure it out and trying to get people here safe and solve all these problems. In this show, of course, we had some fantastic characters in the first one, which I will get to in a second, but I do want to recognize some of the newer cast members in here. Most exceptionally, a girl of the name Max. She's a badass. I absolutely love her. I didn't know what to think of her character at first, but she's Mad Max pretty much. Like, she is so awesome, and I love the character that we got in here, and I can't wait to see where we see her go next without the show. But also going from there, she also has this douchey brother, Dacre Montgomery, who you guys might recognize from Power Rangers earlier this year. And I was kind of excited when I heard he got casted, and I will say I'm a little let down by his character. I was hoping for more, but given maybe in the next season we will get more of him. He just was this typical asshole, and I was hoping maybe he would turn out to be like Steve and not be an asshole, but he pretty much was an asshole. And we have 2 other big cast members that joined this season. We have Sam from, of course, Lord of the Rings. He actually plays a character named Bob in here, and Bob is such a great guy. I absolutely loved his character. I didn't know what to think of him at first again, but I absolutely loved where his character went, and I just liked how his journey went through the story. From there, we also have a new doctor who's kind of not the Matthew Modine character. He's kind of like the nicer version of him, I would say, but he's also still this kind of villain aspect, but I like that villain aspect because you see his side and what he's struggling with, but at the same time, he's not a total douchebag like Matthew Modine's character was in the first one. So I give major props for that. Of course, I gotta talk about the main characters in here. Of course, everyone returns. Mike, Dustin, Lucas, and Will all coming back, the 4 Musketeers that we absolutely loved from the first season. Even though we didn't get enough of Will in the first one, I was a little hesitant knowing that coming into the season, we were gonna focus more on Will. Even though the first one, we focused on Will, but he wasn't there. It was the mystery of finding him. This one, it's more of dealing with how he's dealing with everything. And I gotta say, that kid actor did such a fantastic job with this, because for me, you don't know what you're gonna get out of a kid actor. Obviously we know about the other kids, but I mean, really, this actor did such a fantastic job, something that it's even a struggle for some older actors to do. And really, I gotta praise the kid for that, but I also gotta praise everyone else again. Dustin is fantastic, of course. He brings a lot of the comedic edge, of course. Lucas also, which, another thing from the first season, I was disappointed that we didn't get more of Lucas. He kind of just felt like that background character, this group of kids. But this time around, every single kid in this group got enough time to shine, and Lucas especially. I love where they took his character in here. Then of course we got to talk about my boy Finn Wolfhard. He was in It this year. He was fantastic in It. He was fantastic in the first season of Stranger Things, and now we're in Stranger Things season 2. And let me tell you, there's 2 scenes in here in particular where I could honestly see the kid getting an Emmy nomination because he was that good. Props to Finn Wolfhard. He is seriously a star in the making right now. Can't forget to talk about Hopper, Joyce, Steve, Nancy, Jonathan, the main group that we also saw from the first one, and they're all fantastic as well. I just loved each and every one of their characters, especially where they took all their characters. I love it. You guys got to check it out for yourself. But I am forgetting about one character in particular, and that is Eleven. I love Eleven so much, and her return is just triumphant. I love where they took her character with this, and she also has this one subplot that I didn't know what to think of, and they don't get much into it in this season, but I do have a feeling that in season 3 we're gonna get a lot more of that subplot, and it's just intriguing how they kind of place these little clues here and there in this season to kind of introduce us to something more, because 11 is fantastic in here, but this subplot they introduced with another character named Kyrie, it makes me intrigued to see where they go with there. But like I said, 11, Millie Bobby Brown is a star in the making as well. She's so great in here, and she's a badass as always. I also want to talk about the score, of course, is fantastic. I mean, the score in the first one was great. The score and soundtrack in here is also more amazing. You can totally tell they got a bigger budget for the second season around because the CGI, most notably, is so much better than the first one. The first one, I get, they worked with a lower budget, so the Demogorgon wasn't perfectly made. It kind of looked a little fake. This one around, every single creature in here is so well realized. The upside down world is very well realized, where it doesn't look as much CGI and fakeish. It really looks like they used practical effects, and maybe they did use practical effects for a lot of those moments, but the upside down was great. I love all the creature designs in here because there's not as many. A lot of them are kind of the same as the first one, but we do get some more in here that was just intriguing, that if you've seen the trailer or the poster, you know what I'm talking about, and it's just awesome. Stranger Things season 2 is fantastic. Like I said, it's just as good as the first one, if not better. I had such a fun time watching the show. I had a fun time binging the show. I couldn't put it down. I just wanted to finish it and see where the story went. I love the pacing that they took with this season. It was a little different than the first one, in my opinion. It started off a little bit slower, and then once we finally kicked into gear, it just went full on and was just a blast to see. Like I said, season 3, I can't wait. I can't believe we have to wait another year, but I'm so ready to watch season 3 because I can't wait to see where they take all these exceptional characters that we got in this one, knock the stakes up again in season 3, because where the season leaves off, it's a lot of questions still. There are a lot of plots and a lot of clues to kind of answer, and that's where season 3 is going to take us. Season 2, again, fantastic all across the board. Everyone deserves appraisal for how great they were in here. And really, I'm so happy to be able to tell you guys that season 2 is just as good as season 1. So with all that said, I'm gonna give Stranger Things season 2 an A. Another great hit from Netflix. I loved this season. I'm honestly gonna rewatch it because I just loved every single thing that they did with the characters, and I love picking out the little tidbits in the show. But what did you guys think? That's the most important thing. So let's comment down below and tell me what were your guys' thoughts about Stranger Things season 2. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Were you kind of disappointed? Because I know some people actually told me that they were disappointed in Stranger Things season 2, and to some ways I can understand that. They did go bigger and bolder for some things. They knocked up a lot of the stakes. They made it darker, which kind of could change the tone for some people, but for me, I loved everything they did with this season, besides the fan service, but I'm not really going to get much into that. And sometimes the show did feel a bit predictable when some things were happening, in 2 major scenes particularly, but I'm not going to get into them because that's spoilers. But again, if you guys want me to do a spoiler review, comment down below and tell me, and I will get you guys that this weekend. But of course, guys, thank you so much for all the support. If you're new, make sure to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell down below so you never miss a video. But as always, stay classy and have a great rest of your day.